Yes, welcome back into our channels, ladies and gentlemen. And being the middle of the week, we are happy to welcome you back. And today, we are just looking at something very simple. And it is just to say that this is a group of those guys that have refused that giving up is not a portion, and we are never giving up, and we are going to do all it takes. That another 5 years, the world is not even ready to see what we are going to come up with. And let's look at something that I really want to look at something very quick, and just because it is learning, because that was the moment you stop learning, that's the time that you start falling behind. That's why even on your graduation days, after all your teachers have finished with you, that is when the education or the learning starts. And learning here is the most important part of learning is self-development. And the self-development is geared towards seeing that you're better than yesterday. Each and every day is look what I really the principle I'm looking at, that let's let's take it into us that you are going to be better than yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. That's what normally the principle of a 1% improvement comes in. There's a story that has been told for several years. Maybe you've heard about it. There's once a great farmer that planted a rare Chinese bamboo tree, dug so well the soil, and put the seed inside, and covered it nicely with a lot of patience and care. And each and every day was watering it. Each and every week was watering. After the third week, after the fourth week, after a month, was still watering the ground. And we're told that after even 6 months, the ground was still the same. And he was busy taking care, removing all the weeds. And as the neighbors were passing by, were wondering, what is this man doing? And some of them were asking, what are you doing there? The truth, the rumors are that you are planting a Chinese bamboo tree. And they were laughing. That is what normally happens when your dreams. Sometimes you put your dreams up there, out there, and people start, are you even serious? People start laughing towards you. Your dream. That is it. And he continued with patience and care and focus, watering it. After the first year, nothing happened. After the second year, nothing happened. The ground remains totally the same. That's what happens. That when you are working, even after 1 year, even there is no change. Even sometimes look at yourself and look, and it appears like you are falling behind. But as long as you are working, you are never falling behind. There is something that is building. Look at when once listen to when the Bob Proctor used to put it very clearly. May his soul rest easy, and he said it very clearly that it's not even the goal that is very important. You can set a goal to be a millionaire. No, being a millionaire is not even important. What is important is what you have to become to be a millionaire. That even you can, after achieving the millions, you can even throw them away and give them all away. But whatever comes to pass, that you can still make that million, because whatever you have become is quite much far better than being a millionaire. That's what you are looking at. That's what you are building. That time that you're working on a dream, you're working on something. You're building those guts. There's nothing can break it. That's when we are comparing this farmer when he's watering it. Even after the third year, nothing seems to happen. But deep in the ground, the seed is germinating. It's growing roots, very strong roots, growing the foundation. That the fourth year still nothing happens. The fifth year, the seed breaks the ground. And we're told that after 5 months, the bamboo tree had grown 35 meters. And now the neighbors were again passing by and wondering, how did it grow very fast? Just in 5 months it grew. Then the farmer smiled and told them it never grew in 5 months. It grew in 5 years and 5 months. That's what we're talking about. That is the power of 1% improvement. Sometimes you work on something and it seems like nothing is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, something is happening that the world is not even ready. to welcome it. And let's look at what are some of the traits of self-made success. That is what I really want to dig deep into. And we're looking at, like, look at two men that as like salesmen. No, sales, being a salesperson is one of the greatest traits and is one of the greatest profession that can make you rich very fast. There are two salesmen that are working for the same company, selling the same products, even maybe given the same uniform, maybe suits, and given maybe the same cars and maybe the same driver. And get that another salesperson or another man makes like 10 times or even 20 times more sales than the other. Then I ask myself, what went wrong and where with the other person? And you know what happens? Why do the other persons keep falling behind? Because this person is not ready to learn. The only thing that you should do is to go and ask that person, what makes you tick? That's the question. What are you doing that I'm not doing? That is the learning that we're talking about. That if you see somebody is doing better, I'm talking about, our brain is wired in such a way that it's normally want us, it's a safe ground for us. It want us to relax and feel comfortable. That's how the brain works. And you're looking at really, like, success has laws. There's laws of cause and effect, which states that for each and every things that ever happens, there's always a reason behind it. That even if you cannot find a reason at the moment, you can trace it back to how and why it has happened. That's why if you look at, you imagine of a life that you want to live and you see it is real, and then you find that there is somebody has lived that particular life, you can trace back and find out that that person did not start from that particular point. And you go back and look at how did this particular person start and follow those particular steps. And it is proven that you are going to end up living the same or even better. It has always been proven that success is not an accident, ladies and gentlemen, and even failure is not an accident. Nobody fails by an accident. Nobody succeeds by an accident. Each and every of these two, like there's an interview of another great guy. I cannot really remember his name, but I just remember the interview on a television. He stated clearly the most important things that each and every man strive to have for a healthy and a happy life. You say that there's number one is, there are only two. You say that the number one is only number one. You say that a sense of control. Once you feel that you have a sense of control of your life, that everything that happens around you, you are in control, you become a happy person. Another one, you say that it's a sense of coherence. That one says that everything that happens is happening for good, just for your sake. You're happy. Everything happens for good for you. And that is give us to the point. And you say also that nature is neutral. It doesn't care. Nature doesn't care whether you're a doctor. It doesn't care whether you're a teacher. It doesn't care whether you're a graduate. It doesn't care whether you never stepped in a classroom. It doesn't care. What it cares that follow the success proven principles or methods, and you'll end up there. It's just like a master chef recipe. You follow the recipe in the kitchen. The thing is that you're going to give us exactly the same dish as the master chef. That's how the success works. Most of us are engulfed in a giant leap, and we're looking at things that might work tomorrow, today, maybe next week. You want to get rich. Getting rich quick is not bad. Nobody is even against getting rich quick. But we're looking at what works. It's like a story is told of two seeds that are germinating. One grows very fast, tall. Another one grows slowly with time. The wind comes and blows and breaks. The tall one is prone to breaking and it breaks and dies. But because this one grows slowly, it has developed roots that is able to anchor it on the soil, in the soil, and As the wind blows, it survives. That is what means that building patiently with a lot of principles, it lasts and maybe last forever. So when you're talking about giant leaps, most of the time nothing works the first time. Most of us ask that what percentage do you think that fails or tries and fail? You know that it's less than 1% tries an idea. Once you propose a great idea to a person, say, "Wow, that's a great idea. I'm going to try it," and automatically remains there. They never try. They fail. They fail even before trying, and then they remain in a point that Sunday I will, Sunday I'll, or next week, or tomorrow I'll. Tomorrow never comes. I will tomorrow. I will on Sunday. I will work on my finances on Sunday. I will start the business on Sunday. I will start it next month. It never comes. It is today. It is now. Start with whatever you have. That's what we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen. And so, I just looking at what are maybe 2 or 3 traits of self-made success. Number one is dream big dreams. Dream big dreams. That's number one. Ladies and gentlemen, go out there. Now we have been given a faculty of imagination, and very few uses that particular faculty. Faculty of imagination. You're saying that imagine how beautiful your life can be in 10 years. Go out there, live that life in imagination, see it, and look at the kind of a car you're driving, look at the kind of a house you're living, look at the kind of family you have, look at the kind of relationship, the kind of friends that you have. Imagine. That is imagination. Most of us don't want to imagine. Just imagine. And once you imagine that, put it down on a paper. Write it. That's not the imagination. Imagination brings power that flows through you. And when you write it down, you get some command of that power onto a paper. And once you write it down on a paper, ladies and gentlemen, like there's a great guy also was interviewed about success, and he was about what are the secrets of success, and he stated very clearly that the secrets of success have always been 2. Just 2. There's nothing. And these 2, he stated clearly that number 1, decide on what you want and make a plan on how to achieve it. Exactly. Decide exactly what you want and make a plan on how to achieve it. That's number 1. Then number 2 is that determine the price that you are willing to pay for whatever you want to achieve. Then pay the price. That is it. Pay the price. Most of us paying the price is not easy, ladies and gentlemen. And most of us are not ready to pay the price. That is why we don't make it. But if you're ready to pay the price, paying the price means that you must be very patient, you must work, and it must be very disciplined. And discipline I define discipline as one point that it's not just, I thought that when I was a young boy, a young man, we went just after our high school education, we were taken through National Youth Service, and we were woken up at around 4:30 a.m. could run with sacks, very heavy sacks on our backs. I thought that is discipline. And our leader just enjoyed doing it, and he could rush us very fast and abusing, and after that we were being disciplined. Because I stayed there for a whole year, and I sometimes I believe that was this. It was not. It was not discipline. Discipline is when you give yourself a command and follow it. That is discipline. Discipline, when you give yourself a command and you say that this I'm going to do, and you do it. That's now discipline. And paying the price, that's where we are. On the point of look at and asking that dream big. Look at 10 years to come. Ask yourself, what kind of a life do you want to live in 10 years? What kind of car do you want to drive? What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of family do you want to? What kind of friends do you want? What kind of relationships do you have to build? What kind, even what what is the worth? How worth do you want to become in the next 10 years? Write them down. Then once you write them down, this appears so big. And you know what? Our minds are geared towards we fear very big numbers and stuff that will push us out of our comfort zone. The mind will send neural signals that will tell you that that is impossible. It is possible, ladies and gentlemen. Break it down into smaller pieces. What can then write them in form of a goal, and what can be done now, to tomorrow, next week, and ask yourself. After you have written all the goals, then ask yourself, if I am just to achieve one thing, the most important thing on this, which one can it be? Then start with that. Start with that. You can also ask yourself that, what if I'm told that I'm going to just to live for 6 months? I only have 6 months to live. Which one is the most important goal that I can achieve here? Write it down. Yeah, the next important thing that also we are looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is another characteristic that is very important, is that work. It is work. It is work. And it is work. Yeah, I just wanted to share just a very few keys to success today, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you are going to make it and achieve more and more and more in the near future. Yeah, I'm thinking, what is that? And I'm posing a question. What is your dream? And what is your vision? What is it that when the time comes that you're now leaving the earth, what are you leaving behind? Yeah, let's be very committed to excellence and really write something down and say that by the time I leave this earth, this is what I'm going to leave behind. That's quite very important. And I want us to write it down and share it and think about it, and let's build something, ladies and gentlemen. Another trait that is very important is to do what you like. Just find something that you like doing and you enjoy doing it, and you do and find a way how now you can leverage on that particular thing that you enjoy doing. That's another principle of success. Most people succeed in what they like, what you like doing, what you enjoy doing, what you can do effortlessly. Most of the employees are doing jobs that are really sucking blood off their system. Like most of the employees are looking forward to Friday so that they can get out of those offices. And normally there's a guy that say that when it reaches Sunday evening, it's like a huge freezer of ice have been placed on his back on a very early Monday morning. It is so heavy on him that he's going back to the same job. And most of us are living like that, ladies and gentlemen. Find something that you like doing and do it with the passion that you can. That's what leads to success. Even how small it is, do it. It's like a story is told of a man. I like this story of a man, and I also watched where I come from. The guys that break very huge rocks into gravel for building along River Nzoia, and you'll see a man with a very huge rock and a huge hammer hammering a rock. Nothing happens. Hammers the third time, the second time, the 10th time. Nothing happens. And he continued to hit it. And you wonder, why is this man doing and nothing is happening? And then maybe after 50th hammering, then rock crumbles into pieces, and say, voila, it is the 50th hammering that has. No, it's then the man said, it is not the 50th hammering that has crumbled the rock down. It is the first, from the first one up the last one, that has created the effect. That's how success is. Even how small it is, there's something it creates. Ladies and gentlemen, that action that we're taking every day, even how small it is, as long as you're moving forward, putting your best foot forward, just like an athlete beginner. I still remember when he gave his story, he said that he was a very young man. He gave his story, he said that when I started running a marathon, even I could not believe I could run 1 kilometer, but I always told myself that one more step, every time one more step, and one more step is he was able to run 1 kilometer. He ran up to 25 kilometers and he became a marathon runner. Just one more step. Look at those. Those are just, and that still boils back into 1% improvement, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, and this road, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're not yet joined us, know that we are moving, and it is a matter of learning. If there's something that you know that we can share it. And I really wish you a very successful week, a very successful day tomorrow. And Viva, let's meet on the top.